fine, you run late.
Thanks.
All right, are we ready? All right, I'll call meeting order at 7 o'clock. We'll start with the pledge to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up, we have the Lakewood Citizens Forum.
Nobody has signed up.
Huh?
Nobody has signed up.
Did Lee sign up?
No.
No, she's already gone.
Lee's gone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next up, we have public hearing is scheduled to provide opportunity to citizen comment on proposed comp plan. So we're going to continue to have public hearings on updating our comp plan. Does anybody have anything to say? All right.
You got one.
Is this the same comp plan that was on the packet in February?
This
There's
is,
no changes been from February to now? It was posted in the packet in February?
no, so what we're doing is, we have a comp plan in place from 5 years ago, and now we're doing a 5-year update on the comp plan.
Yeah, and that was in the packet in February. Is it still the same?
It's whatever's up on the website. It hasn't changed in 5 years. I don't think.
It hasn't changed, and we don't have any red lines yet.
Okay, I thought I saw some red lines in there, but that,
Well, actually, I take that back. I think there were a few.
yeah,
We're not adopting tonight, we're asking for input.
okay.
So
Okay.
if there are any additional feedback from any residents or from in the public hearing that you would like to see in the comp plan, that's the purpose of this.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Susan's got the second. All those in favor?
Shoot.
Thank you. Next up on the consent agenda.
Got folks on the spot.
All right, we have the 2 minutes from the February 13th, February 27th.
That's why you guys can't see.
Oh, geez. Anybody have any issues with the minutes? I had a couple of changes with Linda already. Minor ones, just counting some dates and notes. Anything? Okay. All right, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, motion.
I'll second.
All right, Eric's got the second. All those in favor? All right, thank you. All right, consent agenda is done. Next up, regular agenda, ordinance canceling the general election and declaring winners. Okay, so obviously there was no, there's not going to be an election since everyone is running unopposed, so we'll be canceling the election. I do want to say one thing. So in the last year, I think we've had something like, 19 meetings in the last year, which is pretty much unprecedented territory.
No, sorry, just to focus it, yeah, there we go.
So, this council, I've pushed the council pretty hard. This is pretty much unprecedented for you guys to have this many meetings. And for me to drag you guys over to McKinney and to Frisco and back to McKinney and Frisco again. And so it's been a lot of hard work. But, the council, everybody's, hung in there. There's been no complaints. Everybody's made it. And so, I think the citizens appreciate the fact that you guys have really been, busting your butts to try and get the roads and all this development stuff done. So, I appreciate it. Hopefully this next year we'll be able to throttle back a little bit and get back to a little bit more normal schedule than every other week. Although we are meeting in 2 weeks again.
So don't count on a year.
Not yet.
Maybe the second half of the year.
Yeah, we're going to meet again in 2 weeks. So, anyway, so we have the ordinance canceling the agenda, so, canceling the election, so I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we cancel the general election.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the ordinance canceling the general election.
I'll second.
Eric's got the second. All those in favor? Okay, thank you. And that also saves us about $5,000 toward the road, so that's good stuff. Next up, discussion of S&P Global Credit Rating. All right, so Andrews is here, so you can jump in if you want, but it's not about the fight. Basically, what I want to do is I want to let everybody know that we had gone through that ratings call, and that was interesting. Go through that, several rounds of back and forth, and at the end of the day, we got a credit rating of AA minus, which on S&P scale, it's basically triple B, single A, double A, triple A. Anything below a triple B is junk. So obviously, the higher the better, and then there's pluses and minuses. My priors going in, it was probably, about a 40% chance we might be an A plus, and maybe about a 40% chance we'd be a double A minus, and maybe a 20% we could be up on the double A side, but then we could also be an A. It was, kind of on the wings there, and I think we did pretty damn good. Double A minus, I think, is a really good credit rating for our first one ever. And Andrew, you can jump in, but the biggest things that hurt us, relatively speaking, was our size. And there's nothing we can do about that. We're not Frisco. We can't be that big.
You're exactly right. So one AA minus credit rating is a tremendous credit rating. It could be a great credit rating for a city 10 times your size. One of the things that it allows us to avoid is having to go out and buy bond insurance, which is an insurance policy that you pay for upfront out of your bond issue. There's 2 different bond insurance companies left, and so it allows us to avoid having to go out and buy bond insurance because their bond insurance companies are only rated AA. And so bond purchasers have not been willing to pay that premium in order to get just a 1-notch upgrade, from AA minus to AA. So it allows us to avoid that cost anywhere from probably $8,000 to $10,000 on an issue this size. Obviously, the larger the bond issue, the more that premium is. And that bond insurance policy is basically guaranteeing the payment of principal and interest, even if the city were to find itself in a position not to be able to make its principal and interest. And then to Dr. Vargas's point, really what's keeping us in the AA minus category instead of being in that AA category is our size. They note in the credit rating report, if you read it, they refer to we have very strong fund balance positions, which is great, but they are low by nominal value. So we can have really strong fund balances, but it's only actually a few $100,000. And so they kind of make a correction on their rating rubric to bring us back down because it's not that big. That's based on our size, it's outside of our control. Otherwise, the rating process went very, very smoothly. Had a great back and forth. Dr. Vargas did, as you all can imagine, a tremendous job of providing very thorough answers. They're very pleased to hear about all the development we have going on as we start working our way towards the full build out. Otherwise, you got to run like clockwork. So it's something to hang your hat on for a city of this size. At most other places, especially in Texas, you'd be lucky to be in that A+ category, likely an A category, just based on size, limited, non-existent commercial business, which is a big aspect of the ratings process. So again, I think it's a great rating and something that is likely to not change unless something really big happens, a big commercial development or annexing a ton of land, creating a corridor, which is to this point not really the goal of Lakewood Village, and that's fine. So you've got a great credit rating. Getting that on the books is a great thing. Should you all ever need to borrow again, one less hoop to have to jump through. You'll go through an update, and they maintain the right to look at you and interview the city every 18 months to keep that credit rating fresh. So you will have that monkey on your back, so to speak, for the next 7 years, potentially 20 years if you never called the debt. And so we'll go through that process and remain kind of on your side to see that through if and when that comes around. But otherwise, kudos to you all.
So let me, I think so we have the full credit report if you guys would like to see it. It's pretty elaborate on different metrics. I didn't put it in the packet. But to kind of give you a little intuition on one thing about us would be, if you make $20,000 a year and you have a year's worth of pay in the bank, that's great. You've got a whole year's worth of pay in the bank, but it's $20,000. If you make $100,000 a year and you have 1 year in the bank, you've got $100,000 in the bank. So for us, we have a year and a half worth of expenses in the bank, so we're in really good shape. But because of our size, we're not measuring that in millions, we're measuring that in hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of it. There's nothing we can do about that.
And the difference between the interest rate you get on a AA minus credit rating versus a AA credit rating is roughly 5 basis points. So it's not immaterial, but it's also not a tremendous amount of money in interest savings that you're pulling on.
I think I was very happy. I mean, it's
As you should.
it's a good shot. So. All right, next up. And Andy, you might get involved in this, I believe. You might have something to do with this. Discussion, consideration of all matters interrelated to issuance of the Town of Lakewood Village Texas Combination Tax Limited Certificate of Obligation Series 2020, including the adoption of the ordinance authorizing issuance of such. So, Andy, if you would, sir.
What I passed out to you all, and for those of you who might not remember, Andrew Friedman, Samco Capital Markets, work with you all as your financial advisor when you access the capital markets. Handed out the results of the bids we took at 11 a.m. this morning, as well as the final numbers. You can see that we received 2 bids today, the best being from Stiefel Nicholas and Company at 3.TIC, stands for true interest cost, which is roughly the average interest rate of this 20-year certificate of obligation, 3.16%, and then the second bid from Robert W. Baird and Company at 3.19%. We had hoped certainly to have more bids, and that's not a reflection of anything the city has done wrong. Timing is everything in the bond market. If any of you have followed, I don't know, any news outlet or anything.
Anyhow,
Whether you follow it or not.
We're having a rough go of it this week, this month, and maybe in the foreseeable future. A lot of market participants, the ultimate buyers of municipal bonds, whether it's insurance companies, mutual funds, municipal bonds are typically stocked in folks' retirement accounts. A lot of those people who are out there buying and bidding on municipal bonds have opted to just stay in cash and see how things work out. So we're happy with the 2 bids that we've gotten. One of the considerations was, do you wait and come back, at a future time, 30 days from now, 60 days from now, and see what the markets are like? Spent a lot of time on the phone and in person at my trading desk today with the guys who are trading municipal bonds. And our ultimate advice to you all as a city is to take the burden at hand. We've got a construction project that we need to let, that we have 120 days a clock to hold that bid price so long as we got what we felt like was a competitive bid in the market. It still came in lower than what we had projected when we started this process 8-9 months ago, where we had been considering interest rate. We were in a rising interest rate environment, and rates we were planning on potentially being 4%. We're still coming in low.
So I actually have I have it from Mark. So I've actually pulled it up. This is the amortization schedule. This is in May. This is for our budgeting process. We
Okay.
did the budgeting in May, and it was the full amortization schedule at 4%.
Yeah.
So we were using 4% for planning and budgeting, and that's the numbers I was using from Mark in May.
Yeah.
So we're at 3.16.
Yeah. So we feel, given the circumstances and everything else, you've got a project that you're ready to move forward with. You've got great bids, as I understand it, to move forward on that project. That we think this is a deal to take and to move down the road. And we'll see what the markets hold. It's, when you access the markets is, of course, we didn't pick this date out of nowhere. It's a regular meeting date for the council. And so our hands are typically tied in selling debt when councils meet, because you can't price bonds or certificates days or weeks in advance. They want to be able to write tickets and start moving these certificates off of their books, they being the bond purchaser. And so they're only willing to hold that bid for so long. So we take the bids today, we'll award it tonight, and they'll start writing tickets and getting all of the transaction done. But should you choose to move forward tonight, the funds will be delivered on April 8th, and you'll be receiving, and the final numbers are here behind the bid. You'll see there the middle of the page, project fund deposit, $4.5 million. So we're going to issue $4,490,000 worth of certificates. We're going to get some accrued interest, and the purchasers are going to pay us a premium of $231,000. That cash premium they're paying goes to pay for the cost of issuance as well as the underwriter spread. So net to the city, on April 8th, you get $4.5 million to spend towards your project.
Right, so all the fees and everything, all the issuance fees, all that come out of the
Yeah,
top, that's.
Correct. So the city's not going to write a check or anything of the sort. And then further back, you can see the amortization schedule that we worked in concert with Dr. Vargas over the last several months to meet those needs. And so you can see we will be paying this over the course of the next 20 years. This was structured with a 7-year call, meaning after 7 years, if we built up a big cash reserve and we want to take out these bonds before they're finally due, we can do so without penalty. And certainly we can leave them outstanding if it's determined after 7 years you've got better use for that cash or something has changed. It's not holding you to that, but it does give you some additional flexibility.
And we have built in for the 4 years of overlap, kind of an attenuated amortization.
Correct.
Right, and then we pick up the pace in year
Yes.
5, right?
When our-
the first set of bonds is off.
When the 2014s mature, we'll then start paying more principal in those years to help kind of ease this overlap of that. Unless I've left anything off, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all may have.
You got it covered. That's pretty good. What's the date versus delivery date?
So the
The
day-to-day,
delivery date's when we get it,
the
right?
delivery date is when you will get the funds. The day-to-day is when the interest will begin accruing on the debt service. Well, the bond purchaser is not entitled to that interest over the course of those 8 days, and so that's the accrued interest line. That's funds that will actually come back to the city. Those are restricted to only be used for debt service, so they'll go into your interest and seeking account, can be used to pay principal and interest. But that's and that's just a mechanism of the bond market.
Now, just out of curiosity, we don't have to have a separate account for these.
So long as you can show your auditor, you can segregate those construction dollars should they come asking. You can keep
Well,
them
that's
in the
okay,
same
but
account.
interest debt servicing is one account.
Yeah,
right?
you can put the debt for both the 2014s and this, they can go in the same account. the
One
same-
debt service.
Yeah, so long as internally, unless y'all are doing this all on, a paper ledger, QuickBook or, whatever accounting software you're using, your
Okay.
auditor will do it separately.
Yeah, we'll segregate the construction funds,
Internally.
but, okay. Yeah, I mean, I can talk to you about it, if you wanna go through the stuff later, go through the kind of nuts and bolts, whatever. What exactly kind of motion do you need, or what?
A motion to approve the ordinance selling certificates of obligation to Steve Nicholas would be fine.
I can't make, did you guys get that?
I did the one in 2014.
You're the last one.
You-
Who's gonna push $4.5 million in debt?
It's the head of the agenda item. It's the
No,
head
it's,
of the agenda
okay.
item.
You can read all of that, and the lawyers always really like for you to read that entire huge caption.
What?
But you can
Make a motion to do what?
to approve the sale of the ordinance selling the certificates of obligation, series 2020.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the sale of the certificates of obligation
To
Steve Nicholas and Company.
Steve Nicholas.
Steeple Nicholas and Company.
Okay, I have a motion. Who wants to second that bad boy?
I'll second.
Eric's got the second. All right, we have a motion and a second to put us in debt. All those in favor? All you voting people, vote? Okay, thank you very much. All right, excellent job. Well done. All right, yes, sir.
And I'm gonna get 2 signatures from you, and then I'm gonna get out of your hair and get on the meeting.
Is Frank
Big day, that's right. This is a big day for us.
That's right. No small task.
Not a very ceremonial.
We'll get it out, we'll get the bond book, so.
It usually takes lawyers a couple of months to get the full transcript that you will get.
Okay.
And then you have a ton of signatures ahead of you, and it's happy for them as well.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yes, there you go.
All right, that's awesome, that's awesome. All right,
Oh, yeah, yes.
this is great.
Is it a certificate?
No, they're not physical certificates.
That's a lot of $5,000
Ordinance,
certificates.
paying, insurance, but there's just a ton of, there's a second one right behind.
All right, next up, consideration of the award of the bid for the Phase 2 street rehab project to Ed Bell Construction, the amount of $4,444,797. And we have Brandon here from Kimley Horn. Brandon, you're up.
Oh,
Yeah,
one
one
second. Hold on a second.
So,
Thank you for coming out tonight. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
Appreciate the
Y'all are
explanation.
welcome.
All right, Andrew.
Enjoy your new roads.
We will later this year.
All right, Brandon's here from Kimley Horn. Yes, sir.
okay, so we had the bid opening meeting on February 27th. We had 6 contractors that were present that presented bids. The apparent low bidder was Ed Bell Construction, and we received their qualification statement and their references. We contacted each of their references, and they all gave positive reviews of their previous work with the company. So due to this, it is our recommendation that we award the contract to Ed Bell Construction.
All right, does anybody have any questions?
Brandon, can you tell me your last name?
Bell. No
Is
affiliation.
that why you didn't say your last name?
No.
Middle initial E?
That's
Wow. Ooh, all right.
We're already anticipating that. It's
Plus minus, that's just plus minus.
So,
Over, under.
No, so the way the bid works is that they bid quantities. So it's, let's say that we say, oh, we want you to do an extra 30 feet over here. They just calculate it. It's this much more square feet. Concrete is this much. So everything is a quantity bid. It's not a flat rate. So that way, if we decide to leave out a pipe onto the street, they just go in and say, well, pipe is $40 a foot. And they just subtract it. So the change, right? That's what we did before.
So that's
It's all
locked in
quantity
based
based.
on our current.
Based on the design, that's why locking in that design, they had to go in and calculate all the square yards and how much cubic yards of stuff we're gonna have to haul away out of the street and all those quantities.
And I think the bid tabulation is in your packet.
It is.
That shows the individual quantities for each item.
You guys did you make any quick off-the-cuff assessment as to how there was a $2 million spread? No. Okay.
It honestly doesn't really make sense, or the fact that the construction time, some of the companies were double the
Yeah.
others, so,
Yeah, that was off.
yeah.
Oh,
A
well.
lot of it, I know a lot of it is the availability of the construction company. If they have 2 crews that are both working 2 hours away, and they're gonna have most of their work here in a little side team on this side, that a lot of times will raise their prices, or, so it flexes.
Okay. Well, so all we need is one.
Yeah,
We
That's
got it.
it. We got one. And it's what, 360, so a year.
Yep.
yeah,
And that's to substantial completion, is that how that's written?
yes. And then final completion is up to 30 days after that.
Right. It's, just like last time. Daryl borrowed the money, who's gonna now spend it?
Yeah, somebody else has got to
Somebody's- Somebody's gotta spend it.
I'll make a motion to
Award.
award the bid to Ed Bell Construction in the amount of $4,444,797. $44,797.75.
All right, I have a motion to award the bid to Ed Bell. Serena gonna be the second?
I'll second.
Serena is the second to spend the money. All those in favor? All right, thank you. That was quick, $4.5 million. We had it,
Big
and it's
bid.
gone. All right, that works. All right, next up, we have consideration of contract for electric service provider for Rocky Point. So Rocky Point had a, so Rocky Point is not COSER. Rocky Point is TXU, which means they get to choose. Obviously, with COSER, we're not allowed to choose. We're in a co-op. They've decided not to let us choose. So Linda was working on that. Linda, why don't you tell everybody?
We were paying a rate of 7.9 cents a kilowatt hour, and I pushed through 3 or 4 different departments because nobody understands what a public utility is. And I got us down to a rate of 4.3 cents a kilowatt hour. So we should see some significant reductions in the price of that electric bill.
That's, you know, other than the operator, that's the biggest expense for Rocky Point. Is just and Rocky Point is firing on all cylinders. Rocky Point's doing very well. Just chugging along, making money. They're doing very well. So, all right. All right, next up, yeah, we need a motion to approve, because it's a contract.
It's a 3-year contract.
Yeah, we have to sign a contract, and all contracts have to be approved by council, so.
I make a motion to approve the contract for electric service provider for Rocky Point Water.
Okay, I have a motion. Daryl's got the second.
Thank
All those in
you.
favor? Very good, yes, Rocky Point is doing very well. They're doing very well. MDD is doing very well. That side of the house is doing very well, very well. Not $4.5 million well, but they're doing well. All right, so we're going to go into executive session now. We're going to go into executive session 55107. We're good? 5510712. Contacting the town attorney matters, the duty attorney, government body of the Texas schools, and Commonwealth state law, advice regarding development agreements and development zoning standards. 55172. Property. Sam Hill Sanctuary, Leetwong Project, Leftfield, Lakewood, and Waffle. And Tectonic Leeway Economic Development, Sam Hill Sanctuary, Leetwong, Leftfield, Lakewood, and Waffle. So we're going to executive session. We'll be back.
Thank you.
Mr. Reed.
Yes, sir.
Are you